Hey, babe, what you got there?
This is a check from Carvana. I just sold my car to them. I went online and Carvana gave me an offer right away. Then they just picked up the car and gave me this.
Oh, that's a big check. Well, obviously you could put this towards your next car, or we could finally get that jacuzzi, or I could start taking tuba lessons, or I could quit my job and write my memoir.
Or I can put it towards my next car with Carvana.
Sorry, your check, not mine.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
On today's Smart 7, chaos for the Conservatives, Sturgeon released without charge, and lots more. It's Monday the 12th of June, it's Superman Day, and happy birthday, Adam Kay.
The Smart 7, it's news, but
Not the news. It's been chaos for the Conservatives this weekend, with 3 of their MPs resigning in less than 24 hours, including former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. He announced he'd be stepping down as Uxbridge MP on Friday after being handed the findings of the Partygate inquiry ahead of its publication this week. And it was followed hours later by 2 of his close allies, former Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries and Selby MP Nigel Adams. The resignations have led to questions over the stability of Sunak's government, and Labour's Pat McFadden says it's time for another election.
The whole thing shows us that the Tory party can't resolve the chaos in its own ranks. The only way it can be resolved is with a change of government.
On his way out, Boris claimed he'd been the victim of a Privileges Committee witch hunt, with the Partygate report likely to recommend his suspension as an MP and potentially triggering a by-election. And former Number 10 Communications Director Guto Harry says Boris jumped to avoid being pushed.
I think what he's done is take charge this weekend of a situation that was out of his control and drifting, inevitably towards a very, very unhappy and undignified sort of conclusion.
But the controversy doesn't end there. Boris's resignation honours list was published on Friday, with several anticipated names missing, including Nigel and Nadine. Boris had suggested that current PM Rishi Sunak edited the list, but Cabinet Minister Grant Shapps says that wasn't the case.
The list that came to him was the list that went to the House of Lords Commission. The Prime Minister has exactly followed the very, very long-standing conventions of Prime Ministers who simply take the list, pass it on and receive it back.
He was the first US president in history to be impeached twice, and now he'll be the first to face criminal charges in 2 separate investigations. Yes, Donald Trump's been indicted again, following a lengthy Justice Department investigation into his alleged mishandling of classified government documents. He's facing 37 federal charges related to national security, and if convicted, he could be handed a lengthy prison sentence. And as for how he's taken the news, well, about as well as you'd imagine.
The ridiculous and baseless indictment of me by the Biden administration's weaponized Department of Injustice will go down as among the most horrific abuses of power in the history of our country. Many people have said that. Democrats have even said it.
Special Counsel Jack Smith, who's been leading the investigation, says everyone's equal before the law, even disgraced presidents.
Adherence to the rule of law is a bedrock principle, and our nation's commitment to the rule of law sets an example for the world. We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made a surprise visit to Kyiv this weekend to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky. In a joint press conference with his Ukrainian counterpart, Justin announced a new support package for Ukraine.
Today, I can announce that we will provide $500 million in new funding. On top of this, today, I'm announcing we'll impose new sanctions against 24 individuals and 17 entities as part of the Special Economic Measures Ukraine regulations.
Meanwhile, Zelensky was questioned over rumours the highly anticipated counter-offensive is officially underway, but the Ukrainian president was keeping his cards close to his chest.
I would not trust one or another Telegram channel, and especially wouldn't trust Putin. Counter-offensive and defensive actions are being taken in Ukraine. At what stage, I will not disclose.
Nicola Sturgeon's had a topsy-turvy weekend. On Saturday, she was posting about passing her driving theory test, but it seems her hazard perception might need a bit of work because the former First Minister was arrested on Sunday over the SNP Finances inquiry. She's the third person to have their collar felt in connection with Operation Branchform, which is investigating possible fundraising fraud in the party, following her husband and former SNP CEO Peter Murrell and SNP Treasurer Colin Beattie. Like the others, Nicola was released without charge after questioning, and she said she's innocent of any wrongdoing in a statement. But despite the chaos surrounding the SNP, their new leader and First Minister Humza Yousaf says he's confident he'll lead Scotland to independence.
Despite having some of the most difficult weeks our party has probably faced, certainly in the modern era, that support for independence is still rock solid. It's a good base for us to build on. I've got no doubt at all that I'll be the leader that will ensure that Scotland becomes an independent nation.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Djokovic sets a Grand Slam record and Soccer Aid raises over 14 million for UNICEF. Right after this.
Hey, babe, what you got there?
This is a check from Carvana. I just sold my car to them. I went online and Carvana gave me an offer right away. Then they just picked up the car and gave me this.
Oh, that's a big check. Well, obviously you could put this towards your next car, or we could finally get that jacuzzi, or I could start taking tuba lessons, or I could quit my job and write my memoir.
Or I can put it towards my next car with Carvana.
Sorry, your check, not mine.
Sell your car to Carvana. Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get a real offer in seconds.
Welcome back.
It's been a record-breaking weekend in sport. On Saturday, Man City beat Inter Milan 1-0 to lift the Champions League trophy for the first time in history and get their treble. Then on Sunday, newly minted tennis GOAT Novak Djokovic defeated Casper Ruud 7-6 at the French Open to pick up his 23rd Grand Slam title, setting a new men's record. In a victory speech delivered partly in French, the Serb says he's over the moon with the achievement.
Every single player dreams of being in this stage and winning the trophy at least once in their career. I am beyond fortunate in my life to win 23 times Grand Slams. It's an incredible feeling. I mean,
the 12th Soccer Aid kicked off at Old Trafford on Sunday night. This year's star-studded lineup included Mo Farah, Tommy Fury and Jill Scott, who faced off as part of Team England or the World 11. The game ended with a fifth consecutive win for the World 11, beating England 4-2 with Asa Butterfield, Robbie Keane and Paul Scholes getting on the scorecard. Love Island star Kem Satine scored an absolute blinder that amazed even him.
This is the first time I'm watching it. We just finished the game. First time I'm watching a goal. I don't even remember it. When there's this many people here, you go numb. And I just didn't know what to do. I was running, I thought I was going to fall over. I was running so fast. But honestly, Soccer Aid is the best, man. I love it.
He changed the face of the comic book industry forever, creating many of the iconic superheroes which would go on to form the MCU, and now is going to be the subject of a documentary. Stan Lee hits Disney Plus on Friday, and it follows the life of the comic legend, from growing up in New York's Upper West Side during the Great Depression to creating characters like the Hulk, Thor and Spider-Man with Marvel. It's told mostly in his own words, and it looks absolutely heartwarming, so don't miss it.
What I tried to do was write the kind of stories I would want to read.
Our superheroes are the kind of people that you or I would be if we had a superpower.
It's really a religious crusade, I like to think.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.